Hey guys, my name's Christina. Most of you know me as Victory Dance. I'm Aoshi's girlfriend. I'm also an artist in this fandom and a couple of other fandoms. I'm making this video because I need to get a lot off my chest about some stuff that happened to me this past June. I didn't want to make this video at first. I hate confrontation and I hate drama. It stresses me out and it makes my stomach hurt and I just don't like it. This has been a pretty consistent source of stress for me. I've lost friends and I've lost trust in a lot of people. I don't know how much anybody knows about all of this, but it's time people knew. This has to do with two people. One of them is named Rob. He also goes by Next Gen or Rena. He's a musician who is not really part of the fandom anymore, just kind of left. He still goes to cons, he still makes music, etc., but not really part of the fandom anymore. The other one is his girlfriend, Tay. She's an artist, like me. She's also not really part of the fandom anymore. These are two people that I used to consider friends. I looked up to both of them a lot. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna lay out everything that happened. It's a series of conversations that occurred over Facebook and Twitter. It all started, I think, June 10th on Facebook. Tay she made a post on her wall. It was a change.org link. And she shared the change.org petition on Facebook and she said, "This woman saved a starved, would-have-been dead fox kid, and the state is trying to take him away and probably will put him down. She already has another fox and other animals, and she's nursed this baby back to health and given him a loving home. Please sign this petition to help her keep him." It was sort of self-explanatory. The lady, I guess she took in a little injured fox kit that she found. She raised it up, nursed it back to health. She already had a pet fox, etc. And the state found out and they are trying to take it away from her. Bit of backstory here, just for context. I am an apprentice to one of the most well-known wildlife rehabilitators in the state of Utah, and I volunteer regularly at a place called Second Chance Wildlife. It's the second largest wildlife rehabilitation center in the state. I've been working with wildlife for years. I know way more than most people do about wildlife care. And that being said, I wound up commenting on her Facebook post and the following conversation took place. I commented saying, "Signed, but not because I think she did the right thing. Only because the fox will die if it is taken away. Wild animals who can't survive in the wild belong in the care of a licensed wildlife rehabilitator, so things like this don't happen. It doesn't matter to the DNR, the Division of Natural Resources. It doesn't matter to them that she was able to care for it. Because 90% of people who try to care for orphaned wildlife without a license don't know what they're doing. The law is in place for a reason. Anyone else would have hurt the kid further. I hope she's allowed to keep the fox. I also hope she's learned her lesson." Tay responded with, "She already owned a fox for 3 years prior to rescuing this kid. She was capable. She said she took it to the vet right away as well and got him taken care of. That's doing the right thing to me, regardless if it's on paper or not. Which, technically, it really is with her permit on being fit to care for her other fox. Thanks anyway for signing." I responded back with, "Pet vets don't know how to care for wildlife. In my mind, she did the wrong thing for the right reason." And she responded back with, "I see your point, though I disagree. You signed, I did my part." And that was it. That was the end of the conversation. We disagreed, but we were both polite about it. Tay's a good person. She really is. She's kind and she's civil, and yes, she's a bit opinionated, but she really is a very nice, polite person. She's very respectable. The conversation ended on good terms. Granted, she was wrong about a few things. For instance, a permit to have a pet fox doesn't allow you to legally keep a wild fox. You have to have a specific license for that. I didn't say anything about that. I kept quiet. Anything else I might have said would have just been me trying to start an argument. And I didn't want to start an argument with her. She was a friend. I respected her. She was trying to do the right thing. A bit later, her boyfriend, Rob, replied to my original comment with this. "Sure, give it to wildlife care so they can send it to the farm instead of keeping it with someone completely willing and probably more able to handle the poor thing with previous experiences, including having a fox prior to. They won't hurt it, right? They'll just harmlessly put it down is all." I responded back with, "You obviously have no idea what a wildlife rehabilitator is or does." To which he responded with, "I know that they would put down a baby animal whose back legs aren't working." I guess that's what had happened. The little fox was paralyzed when she first got it. "Don't ever tell me what I do and don't know, first off. Let me guess, you assume orphanages are great to kids too, huh? She has the experience and the knowledge to take care of it, and she's done nothing wrong but save a poor animal's life. But to you, that's wrong, right? because everyone likes to make something wrong out of even saving a baby animal nowadays. I'm not dealing with your SJW bullshit anymore. You can take it and shove it up your ass. After that, I logged off. I didn't ask for any of that, and there would have been no point in me trying to correct him or in me continuing the conversation. It wouldn't have done any good. For the record, a wildlife rehabilitator would not have killed it. Wildlife rehabilitators don't do that kind of stuff. They're not a dog pound. They're not the government. They're not doing it for money. That little fox would have gotten x-rays and medication and physical therapy for months or maybe up to a year, depending on how hurt it actually was. Thousands of dollars would have been spent on it. I've seen it happen. I've seen hawks undergo $3,000 surgeries so that they can use their wings again. And that doesn't, the government doesn't pay for that either. The wildlife rehabilitators pay for that. The wildlife rehabilitators pay for that out of their own pocket and through donations. They don't get paid by the government. It's just what we do. We put everything we have into those animals so that they can live and be free, so that their lives can be saved. The government, the DNR, they are heartless and callous towards wildlife. They don't care about them. Rehabilitators do. Since I didn't respond to his Facebook comment, he decided actively to seek me out on Twitter. He tweets at me, "It seems the world can't do a good fucking thing without being criticized and torn apart for it." I responded back, "The world does many good things, but doing the right thing irresponsibly can have bad consequences. Please understand that." Rob responds back, "No, dude. There's no such thing as doing the right thing irresponsibly. That's like telling me I gave CPR wrong. She did the right thing with her extensive knowledge and previous experiences. She saved an animal's life. For the record, you can give CPR wrong. You can break someone's ribs and potentially kill them. I digress. Me. And now the animal risks being taken away and killed because she couldn't take it to someone who was licensed. Better question. Why are you dogging me over this?" Rob, "Because you're being a little bitch about someone saving an animal's life who probably has more knowledge than you would." Me, "Wow. Tossing out the B word for literally no reason. You know nothing about wildlife. Stop making this an issue." Rob, "If a person is dying and you have the knowledge to save them, just wait for an ambulance, right?" Me, "No, you do your best to help, but you don't refuse to send them to a real hospital." That was the entire point I was trying to make there. Rob, "No reason?" Replying to my B-word comment. "Don't victimize yourself. You're being a little bitch because you're jealous a lady with more knowledge took care of a fox you wouldn't have been able to." Me, "I studied under a veterinarian for 2 years and currently volunteer under the most knowledgeable wildlife rehabilitator in Utah. She has a pet fox. Stop being an ass." Granted, I probably could have worded that better. I don't know if I came across as arrogant there or what, but I definitely could have worded that better. Rob, "Because you're telling me they'll now kill the animal possibly if she hands it over? That just completely proves me right." Me, "They might, depending on the state. They may also attempt to rehab it or keep it for use in education programs." And that's true. Different states have different laws. There are a few states out there who, if they find a wild animal in the possession of a civilian, they are required by law to kill it. Some places don't. Some places they can go to a wildlife rehabilitator. Some places they can go to an educational facility, but they're not allowed to go back out into the wild. It depends on the state. Rob, "You can actually fucking fight me over this. I refuse to acknowledge someone saving an animal's life is a bad thing." Me, "It's not. The kit would have died without her, but she tried to keep it as a pet, and that's where she went wrong." That was the only point that I was trying to make. Tay jumps in now. "I'm sorry. Do you know her extensive background in animal care? No? Alright then. Quit talking." Me, "She didn't do a bad thing per se, but DNR laws are brutal and she should have known that. He's the one who's harassing me about it." Tay, "Because you're being a hateful, inhumane person for attention like always. He's dropping it. I don't blame him because he's as angry as I was yesterday. Toodaloo." I don't really know what happened there. All of a sudden, I was being attacked. I don't know if I actually did anything wrong there, or maybe I shouldn't have said anything about it in the first place. I was just offering up my knowledge. I blocked both of them after that. I was exhausted, and I was really upset. That level of hostility and those insults was more than I could handle. It was like 5 a.m. I sat in the bathroom for a little while, and then, because I had his account blocked, I get this direct message from Rob's other Twitter account, Renna. "Subtweet me again, you fat, stupid, hog-wild bitch. You can come visit Columbus again and catch these fucking hands. You're a fucking shitty, negative, SJW victimized fuckface who has no sense of what is right and wrong. I would disregard the law to save someone's life, including an animal's life. Glad to see you would do the same. Get bodied, bitch. even though you have enough for two. Don't ever fucking subtweet about me again. I don't know what that seems like to you, but to me, it seemed like a pretty thinly veiled threat. He knew that like a month after that, I was going to TrotCon, and that's in Columbus, where he lives. I think maybe in the back of my mind, I knew that he wasn't actually going to try to hurt me, but at the time, I was still pretty scared. I didn't really know him enough to be sure. Whenever I think of Rob, I think of the guy that I met in 2014, before I even met Aoshi. He was Aoshi's best friend, this guy with pink hair who hugged me so tightly I couldn't breathe when I showed him a picture that I drew of his OC. He held it up to the stage. I don't know if anyone who was there remembers that, but that was a pretty great moment for me. I can't help but feel like somewhere over the past 2 years, he changed. Because he was this guy that I looked up to so much. And when I read that message, I couldn't help but think about that and ask myself, what happened? The weeks after that, I had more than one nightmare about waking up at TrotCon and finding like my table vandalized or broken, my stuff strewn everywhere, or being cornered and harassed by a bunch of people. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I honestly almost didn't go. I wound up asking the TrotCon staff to have like someone from the security watching over my table and watching over me. I was so close to having my dad come with me just so I'd feel safe. I wound up just sticking with a bunch of friends. I was pretty scared the whole weekend. Whenever I see someone talking about Big Rob or talking to him, my stomach starts to hurt. I mentioned it to at least a couple of people. I mentioned it to the ones who saw what was going on, and I talked about it to a few people who were going to TrotCon, and they're still best buddies with him. I mean, this is the guy who does PR for Wolf Beats. It's tied to some of the biggest musical artists in the fandom. I can't compete with that. He insulted me and threatened me without provocation. I don't know if I straight up did something wrong or what. All I know is that I've lost a lot, and he's lost nothing. I've lost trust in more than a few people who I used to call friend, who I used to call very close friends. I've completely lost a couple of friends because of this. For 2 months, I've been the one being punished because of all of this, and at this point, I don't know if I deserve it or not. I'm starting to wonder if I do. This isn't a witch hunt or anything. I don't want to take friends away from Rob, and I don't want to take friends away from Tay. I'm not calling for anyone to harass them or dog them about this. I mean, she's a great artist, and Rob is a fantastic rapper, and I understand why people chose them over me. I'm not really mad about that. I just want people to know why I'm taking all of this so hard. And maybe deciding that I can't be friends with those people if they're friends with him is too harsh of a decision. Maybe I'm making a mistake, but at this point, it's my mistake to make, and I don't want to feel hurt anymore. I'm not going to be saying anything else about this. This video is my last word on the subject. The video itself, no one's going to be able to comment on it. No one's going to be able to thumb it up or down. There's no ratings. There's no comments. So if you want to say something to me about it, my Twitter handle's in the description. If you want to say something to me about it, my messages are open. You just talk to me. Whether you're with me or against me or whatever, just if you want to say something to me, go ahead. I don't mind. If you've made it this far in the video, thanks. Thank you for listening. And Tay, Rob, guys, I don't know if you're watching this or not, but I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.